Hello everyone and welcome back to the Joe Tom Red Sports YouTube channel with me, Joe Tom Red, where today we'll be looking at the race for the top four in the Premier League because, let's face it, the title's done and dusted. I know City dropped points this weekend, but I can't see them dropping that many points between now and the end of the season, whereas I think Liverpool, who I think are the only team good enough to catch them, will drop points. And the relegation battle is probably a little bit more entertaining than the top four battles, definitely more entertaining than the battle for the title, but it's a little bit close to home. And to be honest, I'm sick of talking about the relegation battle as a Burnley fan. As you can see by the shirts behind me, I'm sick of talking about it. So we're going to talk about the race for top four. So once again, there were so many twists and turns in this race for top four, just like there is every single week. It's so difficult to keep up. The pendulum swings in a different way every single week. And this week, it's looking like it's swinging in Manchester United's way because a lot of the teams played each other this week. Chelsea were at home to Tottenham. United were at home to West Ham. Obviously, all of them four are within the bracket of finishing in the top four and aiming for the top four. And of course, Arsenal were at home to basement club Burnley. We'll get into all the games and stuff recently, but it's now left the league table looking like this. Of course, Manchester City, top of the league. They're going to win it, as I've said. Liverpool, second. They're probably going to finish second. I can't see them catching City, and I can't see Chelsea catching them either, to be honest. Chelsea have been a little bit indifferent recently. And then after that comes Manchester United on 38 points. They're quite a way behind Chelsea in terms of points, who are on 47. Then in fifth is West Ham. Then in sixth is Arsenal. And in seventh is Tottenham. West Ham on 37 points. Arsenal on 36 points. And Tottenham on 36 points. And I tell you what, I've only just realised Wolves are in eighth. Should we include Wolves in this conversation? Maybe. Do I think they'll get it? No. But I'm going to include them in this conversation now. So you've got United, West Ham, Arsenal, Tottenham and Wolves all battling for that top four position. Because Wolves do have 2 games in hand on West Ham. Wolves have only played 21 games. West Ham have played 23. And Wolves are only 3 points behind them. So Wolves can catch West Ham. It's getting very interesting, this race for top four. And I cannot wait to see which way the pendulum swings in the next Premier League game week. So as I mentioned, plenty of twists and turns this week in the race of top four, as there is every single week. And we're going to start off with Chelsea and their results and how they got on this weekend and where I think they'll finish. I think Chelsea will finish in the top four. To be honest, I think they're going to finish third. They'll finish in the Champions League places quite comfortably. I'm only using Chelsea in this example and in this video because a lot of people have spoken about how they think that Chelsea might drop out of the Champions League places because the form's been a little bit indifferent recently. Let's take a look at some of their recent results. So they drew away to Brighton last time out. Obviously not this weekend, the weekend before. And then before that, they got beat against City. Then there was a few cup games. We won't go into that. Then a draw at home to Liverpool, to be fair, which is a decent result. Then another draw to Brighton and a draw away to Wolves, a draw at home to Everton, all within the last 7 or 8 games. So a few people have been sort of like saying that Chelsea might drop out of it. I've never thought Chelsea were going to drop out of it. And I think this weekend's result against Tottenham shows that they are, they're miles ahead of the teams battling, the teams that are actually battling for the top four, your Tottenhams, your Arsenals, your West Hams and your Man Uniteds and your Wolves. I think they're miles ahead of them comfortably in terms of quality on the pitch and in terms of results as well. They've shown how much better they are than Spurs in the last 3 weeks. Of course, they've played them twice in the League Cup and now they've played them in the league. They've not even come close to losing any of them games, to be honest. They always seem to beat Spurs quite easily, don't they? Another win. And I think there was a lot of rumours, like I said, about Tuchel maybe, under a bit of pressure and Chelsea not finishing in the Champions League places. Chelsea will finish third, and I'm pretty confident with that prediction. So next we're going to move on to Manchester United because they're in the next position in the league table. They're currently fourth, sitting on 38 points. That's 1 point above Arsenal. 1 point above West Ham, 2 points above Arsenal, and 2 points above Tottenham, and 4 points above Wolverhampton Wanderers. I think the pendulum, to be honest, has swung back in Manchester United's favour this weekend. Of course, they beat West Ham with a very, very, very late goal and a somewhat controversial goal. I can't believe people are still debating it because it looked, when I first saw it, I'll be honest, the late goal, who was it who scored it? Rashford after a pass from Cavani. I was adamant it was offside. I saw it in real time. I was like, nah, he's off. He's 100% off. And then I saw it slowed down by the broadcasters. I'm like, it's definitely off. Then I saw the still image. Even then, I was adamant it was off. But the lines are there. And there's a lot of talk of corruption and a lot of talk of, and protecting the big six because they want them to finish in the Champions League places, or they want the best clubs in the Champions League places, the richest clubs, the clubs that are going to bring in the most money for the Premier League. But I don't think, when they put the lines on the pitch, I think it was pretty conclusive that it was onside for me. I admit with the naked eye, it looks like he's offside because of the angle of the camera. You've got to remember the camera is behind the player. So it looks because of that he is in front. And I work in sort of like, I've told you before, I work in sports broadcasting. I do a lot of greyhound racing and horse racing. And sometimes when the camera is behind, it does look really, really deceptive until they bring the camera in that's on the line and you can see why. Now, in places like that, with clubs, with the amount of money that the Premier League have, the way that we could probably combat this is just have cameras all the way along the line rather than just a camera there. Or one of these cameras that moves. Why can't the camera move up and down the line? And I don't even need somebody controlling it, does it? You can have cameras these days with the technology that would be able to keep up with the last man. So that could be something that they look at, just thinking out loud, to be honest. But I don't see the issue with it. It's onside. It's a goal. Unfortunate for them. I genuinely want West Ham to finish fourth. I would West Ham finish fourth. And that's no shade against the rest of the clubs. I just would love to see a different team qualify for the Champions League. And I think it'd rattle a few cages of the Big Six. And I do like to see that happen every now and then. And it would introduce maybe another team that can start battling out year in, year out, just like it did with Tottenham a few years ago. But let's talk about West Ham and their battle, because they, of course, are next in the position. They're directly underneath Manchester United. Now, I think West Ham are going to fade. Honestly, I really, really do. The last two games, they were poor against Leeds. I know Leeds is a very tough game, but Leeds have only won 5 games all season. West Ham have got to be playing them at home and expecting to win. I know a lot of West Ham fans would have expected to win that game and would have been very, very disappointed with losing that game. Again, that's no disrespect to Leeds, but if you're battling for the top 4, you've got to beat who Leeds at one point, 3-4 games ago, were a relegation-threatened team. They've just lost to Newcastle, for example. So that just shows how bad they can be. And West Ham, if they'd have played to their strengths, they'd have put them to the sword. And it's not just the results. The last 2 results is why I think West Ham will fade. And again, West Ham fans, no shade whatsoever. I genuinely want you to do it. I want you to finish in the top 4. But you look at the squads of Manchester United, of Arsenal, when they don't have a shit ton of injuries, of Tottenham, the teams that you're fighting it up against. They're just better squads with more depth, better players, more depth. I think that's West Ham's problem. Your main 11 is a very, very good main 11, but as soon as you pick up a few injuries, as soon as you pick up another COVID scare, for example, I'm not too sure that the rest of the squad is good enough to keep up the pace. Declan Rice, if you do sell Declan Rice in the January transfer window, I don't think you will. I don't think you're that stupid. Then it is pretty much game over. There's been some talk of a silly money bet coming in from Manchester United. Manchester United have failed so many times with these big money moves. They need to stop doing that as well. And West Ham would be silly to sell anyway, unless he downed tools and said, I want to go. And he doesn't seem like that kind of guy. So Declan Rice isn't going anywhere for me in this window. But yeah, West Ham fans, my prediction for you, to be honest, is just fading a little bit now and maybe finishing in the Europa League places, which is another good season for you guys. But genuinely, I would love to see you guys do it. Just looking at your fixtures, though, coming up, you do have some winnable games. After the FA Cup match, you've got Watford at home. Please, as a Burnley fan, please beat them. Then you've got Leicester away. They're indifferent, so you can beat them. Then Newcastle at home, and then quite a tough run of fixtures after that. But your next 3 games, they're all winnable, so you could be in a very, very good position. You need to bounce back from these 2 defeats if you're going to stand any chance. But I can see West Ham dropping more and more points as the season goes on and ultimately fading. But like I said, finishing in the Europa League places is another decent season for West Ham. Okay, next we're going to take a look at Arsenal. They're currently in 6th in the league table. They're another team. They're just a little bit indifferent. I know Arsenal, and there's a lot of Arsenal subscribers here. Shout out to Turkish London and AFTV for getting me them, because I was on the AFTV channel last week. You can watch the video. Now it's in the top right-hand corner. Come back to this video if you do. But Arsenal, they're another team. You've got to be beaten. And same as West Ham, they have to be beating Leeds if you're in a battle for top 4. And as a Burnley fan, I'm saying this: you've got to beat Burnley at home if you want to finish in the top 4. I respect that you've got a few injuries, so did Burnley. I respect that you've got some players away at AFCON, so did Burnley. You've got to beat Burnley at home. If you want to finish in the Champions League places, you've got to beat Burnley at home. This is what I mean about this top 4 battle, and this is why I wanted to talk about it, because it swings, the pendulum swings so many different ways. Next week, I'll probably be saying Arsenal win a chance, but now I'm looking at it thinking, I'm not so sure Arsenal have got the squad to finish in the top 4. I think Arsenal might just miss out. I'm thinking 5th or 6th for Arsenal at the minute. And that's if Tottenham can get going, which again, I'm going to speak about Tottenham next. I'm not so sure if they can. Arsenal, they're going to be bringing players in, as I respect a lot of the clubs are. So it depends who you bring in. But just looking at your upcoming fixtures, you've got Wolves away next. Oh, that's one. And then Brentford at home. You know what? I think Wolves might win that one. I really think Wolves might win that one. They're in some good form at the minute. Arsenal a little bit indifferent. Started the year indifferently. Ended last year brilliantly. Started this year indifferently. You know what? I do. I think you're going to lose that one, Arsenal fans. I apologise, but I think Wolves will put you to the sword there. But then you've got some winnable games again, so the pendulum could swing back in your favour. After that, you've got Brentford at home. You should beat them. Then you've got Watford away. You should beat them. Leicester. I do think Arsenal can get something out of that one. But then you've got some difficult games coming up after that. Villa away. Again, they're below Leicester, to be fair, but they're on a bit of a resurgence with Gerrard and bringing in some decent players. Then you've got Palace away. He should be winning that one, to be fair. Then Brighton at home. So some difficult games after that. So we'll see. I think the pendulum might swing back in Arsenal's favour after the Wolves game, but I think it's going to swing further away. Let's quickly have a look at the Tottenham fixtures, because they're currently sat in 7th. They have, after the FA Cup game against Brighton, they've got some winnable games coming up. Well, a winnable game, should I say. They're a tough run, to be fair. So they've got Southampton at home. I think they'll win that one. Then it's Wolves away. Like I said, Wolves deserve to be in this conversation. So I think that one. Sorry, it's Wolves at home. Then I think because it's at home, I think they'll win that one, to be fair. Then City away, that's a defeat. You can forget that one. Then Leeds away, that one can go either way, as we've seen with West Ham. And then Everton at home, you should beat them. Then you've got Man United away. Then you've got West Ham at home. 2 very big games there, Tottenham. It's going to be very, very interesting around that mid to late March time. But with Tottenham, I think I've not been overly impressed with them since Conte has come in. There's been a lot of noise about them being unbeaten until this weekend. And big respect to Conte for that. He's made them a more difficult side to beat. I think they are a better side now with him as manager than what they were before he came in. But I still don't think they have enough to make top 4. There's a lot of noise coming from Conte saying that I'm talking to the board, telling them what we need to get this top 4. And I don't think he's getting what he wants. I think next year might be a year where Tottenham can bring some players in the summer and then push on a lot next year. I do think Tottenham will miss out on the top 4 on this occasion. But I think the pendulum will swing back in their favour up in the coming week. They have got some games in hand as well. They've got 3 games in hand on West Ham, got 2 games in hand on Manchester United and 1 game in hand on Arsenal. One of them's at Turf Moor, so hopefully they don't win that one. But yeah, I do think Tottenham will do well. I think they will just miss out, though. And then Wolves, because like I said, they might be all the way down in 8th, but I think they deserve to be in this conversation as well, because they are only 4 points off Manchester United, who are currently sitting 4th, and they've played a game less. They have played a game less than Manchester United. Admittedly, they've played more games than Tottenham, but only 1 more game. But they are on a very, very good run. Just look at their last 5 fixtures, for example. They beat Brighton, and then they drew at home to Chelsea, and then they beat Manchester United at Manchester United. They beat Southampton and they beat Brentford at the weekend. And that was a very, very good game, by the way. Looking at their fixtures, after the FA Cup game this weekend, they have got Arsenal at home, and I genuinely think they win that one. Apologies, Arsenal fans, but I think Wolves win that one. Then they've got Tottenham away. Some massive games coming up again here in this race for top 4. But I bet these 2 teams, Arsenal and Tottenham, I bet they're not looking at these games against Wolves as massive, because people aren't including Wolves in this conversation. Wolves deserve to be in this conversation, I am telling you now. So they've got Arsenal at home, and then Tottenham away. I think they'll get 3 points out of that one. I think they'll get beat by Tottenham due to the home advantage. Then I think they beat Leicester, and then another massive game. They've got West Ham away. I think they get a point in that one. I genuinely think they get a point in that one. It's going to be interesting. Then they've got 3 very, very winnable games. Palace at home, Everton away, and Leeds at home. Wolves could be the surprise package in this one. I think they might even finish in the Europa League place. I do think ultimately they'll fall short, simply because other teams have got more points and more depth and just better squads. But Wolves definitely deserve to be in this conversation. So my predictions, after giving you all that information while chatting and processing it all myself in this beautiful brain of mine, I am going to go Manchester City to win the league, obviously. Liverpool to finish 2nd, obviously. Chelsea to finish 3rd, obviously. We're all in agreement with the top 3 and the positions in the top 3, yeah? Yeah. Then that's when the tricky stuff starts. And you know what I'm going to do? I've just decided now, just this second, I am going to do a top 4 video once a month. And I bet you any money in every single video, because the pendulum swings in different ways in every single game week, bet you I change my prediction. Who's going to finish 4th? Every single time. It's so difficult to predict. Right now, and I know it's a bit of a shit out because they're currently sat in 4th, but right now I'm going to predict Manchester United will finish the season in 4th and get the Champions League spot. Because I think with the pendulum swinging back in their favour this week, they've won 2 games in a row now, beating Brentford 3-1, and of course the game we just spoken about against West Ham. I think that's going to be a bit of a confidence builder because they've beaten a side like West Ham. They've beaten a side who are also in this battle with them. And the way they won it as well in the 97th minute or whatever it was. And I do like their new manager. He's come in for a bit of stick. And there's been some rumours about maybe potentially the players not liking him and not liking doing their homework and not liking working hard. I mean, it's like the primary school kids, isn't it? Pathetic. But I do think he'll start to turn the screw a little bit now, and I do think that win will give them some confidence, and I think they might go on a bit of a run. That I think we'll see with that one. Then I'm going to say Arsenal in 5th. I think Arsenal will just miss out, unfortunately. But, you know, back in Europe, back in the Europa League places, you've got to be happy with that from the position that you're in last season, Arsenal fans. No, let me know in the comments below if you would be happy with 5th. Then I'm going to go Spurs in 6th. I like Conte, and like I said, I do feel that they are better with Conte than what they were before, but I just think ultimately they don't have the players. Kane's not playing that well this season. The midfield's not the best, and defensively they are not great either compared to some of the other clubs up there. So I think they will finish below Arsenal, which, you know, I'm sure the Arsenal fans that are subscribed to this channel will be happy about that. Again, Arsenal fans, let me know in the comments if you'll be happy with that. West Ham, sorry, I'm having you underneath that in 7th. I just think ultimately you don't have the squad. I think you will fade. And when you play these sides in and around you for the next few game weeks and few months, I think you will do well to pick up points against the teams in and around you at the minute. Again, West Ham fans, disclaimer, I genuinely want you to do it. That's not throwing any shade, as I've already said, to any of the other clubs. It would just be so good to see a different team finish in the top 4. And then underneath them, going in 8th, I think Wolves will pretty much stay there all season. I think Wolves, to be fair, I think they'll come up a little bit. I think in the next few games we've just looked at, I think they'll come up a little bit and then they'll drop back down again towards the end of the season. But that's my prediction for the race for the Europe, for the race for Champions League. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And if you've liked the video, please subscribe to the channel. This is a brand new channel where I, Joe Tom Red, talk about all the things happening in the world of sport, not just football. I know my 3 videos so far, well, 2, because one was a welcome video. My 2 videos so far have been about football, but I'm going to be talking about loads of different sports, F1, cricket, you name it, darts. I love the darts. I'm going to be talking about loads of different sports. So if that sounds good, please hit that subscribe button. If you like it, like the idea of it, but you're not sure you want to subscribe yet, that's fine. Just hit the like button. It really, really does help the channel. We are a brand new channel just starting out. So if you can do anything you can to help, that would be greatly, greatly appreciated. But let me know what you think about my prediction. Am I an idiot? Am I right? Let me know what you think about my prediction in the comments below, and we'll see you next time.